to Grand Canyon National Park. It's December 30th. It's a little bit before 8 a.m., about 7:50. I'm going to be doing a run down the Tanner Trail today, going down to the river that way, which I've never done before, so I'm excited. And the plan is to then take the Beamer Trail to get to the confluence of the Colorado and Little Colorado River. So it should be a fun day. It should be about 33, 34 miles, something like that. About 7,000 feet of elevation change. And I've never done either of these trails before, so I'm very excited. It is chilly right now. It's about 30 degrees. A little windy here at the rim, but it should be pretty nice once we get down there. We're here at Lipin Point, which is where the Tanner Trail starts. And I'm just enjoying this beautiful panorama of the Grand Canyon. You can see the Colorado River winding its way down. So, very pretty here. And we're gonna get started here shortly. So we're just down the street from Lipin Point. We're at the Tanner Trailhead. So we are gonna get started. Here we go. Okay, we're about a half mile in. So I just thought I'd give a quick update on the trail conditions here. So Tanner Trail is a non-corridor trail here at Grand Canyon, meaning it's not maintained by the park rangers or the National Park Service. So the corridor trails are known as Bright Angel and South Kaibab and North Kaibab. So Bright Angel and the Kaibab trails are corridor. Everything else of the Grand Canyon we call non-corridor. So this is a non-corridor trail. So basically what that means is it's more rugged and there's less people. So I was curious as to what the terrain would be like. And right now it's not terrible, but definitely different than Bright Angel and South Kaibab. A lot more rocks on the trail, boulders that you kind of have to maneuver your way down. So not super runnable, and I'm definitely taking my time on this descent. Don't want to roll an ankle here. I did pass one other hiker who was also doing it by herself, but so far it's just kind of been a lot of this. It's going to be brutal on the climb back up, I'm sure. Whoop. Almost just slipped there, but look at this rock field here. Wow. Ugh. But from the research that I've done, they do say that after like kind of a mile and a half or maybe 2 miles, the trail really smooths out a lot and even gets kind of runnable. So I'm hoping we'll just make it through these first couple of miles and we can kind of make up some time after that. I'm not sure if the trail stays there or if we follow this rock field down, but this is kind of crazy. So yeah, a couple miles in, we're still doing good. You can see how far we've descended already. It's very peaceful this morning. So we're gonna keep making our way down. All right, so if anyone thinks you're gonna come to Tanner Trail and just bomb it down to the river, you are mistaken. I just finished my first mile, and you can see my mile was like 27.5 minutes, so I'm at like 28 minutes right now. And I'll show you, we have already dropped over 1,400 feet in 1 mile, which is nuts. That's like, it's like blue dot for all my Flagstaff local runners. It's really steep, but very rocky. So yeah, I knew the pace would be slow going down this trail, but it's even slower than I thought. I thought I could do like, I was hoping to do like 20-minute miles down this trail, but I think 27-minute miles are going to be a good pace, at least for these first two. And then hopefully it'll open up after that. Views are opening up here a little bit, so there's the view to my left, looking west into the canyon. Beautiful. And then to my right, I don't know if you can see it, but you can actually make out the Desert View watchtower all the way up there, which is really cool to see from down here. It looks tiny, but that's an awesome place to check out if you're visiting the canyon. It's on the eastern end, right by the east entrance. The watchtower itself, it's open from I think 8 to 5 or something like that, so you can actually climb to the top and you get a good view from up there. But there's also just some beautiful overlooks from that spot, and you can kind of see, they call it the Palisades of the Desert, all the way to the east. You get a great shot of the river, and it's a great place to watch either sunrise or sunset because it's kind of wide open on every direction. So I definitely recommend that, but very cool to see the watchtower from down here. All right, we are just over 3 miles in, 3.1, so 5K. Pace is quickened a little bit. I talked about how my first mile was about 27.5 minutes. Second mile was 19.5, and the third mile was 16.5. So that's a little more what I expected. The terrain, kind of after the 1.5 mile point, flattened out considerably. It's still rocky, like we're kind of going up this little rocky patch right now, but it's been somewhat runnable. But still, I'm doing a lot of hiking. I think we go this way. So yeah, this is right. And the crazy thing is that first mile we dropped almost 1,500 feet, and now we're over 3 miles in and we haven't even hit 2,000 feet of loss yet. We're at 1955. So that first mile was crazy, and then that next half mile, like I said, up to that 1.5 mile mark, was a lot of elevation loss. But since then it's been mostly flat. You can see where we came from. So I feel good. We're out of the shade, so we're in the sun. I took my gloves off, but I still have my jacket on. Probably take it off here pretty soon. And I'll talk about the gear that I have for this adventure. So again, this is on a non-corridor trail, so not maintained, it's not monitored, so you definitely have to be self-sufficient out here. There's no water on the trail, so the only place you can get water is at the Colorado River, which you have to filter, obviously. So point being is, if you're gonna do this trail or any other non-corridor trail here at the canyon, just know what you're getting into. You know, be self-sufficient, be prepared to self-rescue if something goes wrong, and definitely carry everything that you need for whatever you're doing. So I have a 2-liter water bladder in the back. I usually have the 1.5 liters, but got the 2-liter back there, so it's a little heavier than what I'm used to. And then I have these 2 flasks up front that have tailwind in them, and I've got about 2,000 calories on me in between the tailwind, Spring Energies, some Payday bars, some potato chips, a Coke. It's about 2,000 calories, which should be more than enough, honestly. And I'm hoping that I won't have to filter more water at the river, but if I do, I have a Life Straw water filter that I can refill at. Another thing that I have that's very important for any backcountry adventure like this that I actually just got is a Garmin InReach. So if something does go wrong and I need help, you know, there's no cell service out here, I'll be able to use that to call for help if something does go wrong, which hopefully won't. I have an emergency space blanket, again, in case something goes wrong and I have to spend the night here. It gets really cold in the canyon at night, so I'll have that just in case. And then I wasn't sure as far as layers, because it was cold at the top, but even now it's getting warmer. You know, the further you descend into the canyon, you gain about 5 degrees per 1,000 feet of elevation change. So I always like get into my own head about how cold it is, because I don't do well in the cold, but I almost wore pants at the start. I'm really glad I didn't, because it'd be such a pain to carry all that around. And it's tricky because the back of my pack is pretty full with everything that I'm carrying, but I also have to keep room for the layers I'm going to shed. So it's like a delicate balance just of everything. So anyway, all I have on is a t-shirt and this jacket, which keeps me pretty warm, but I'll stuff the jacket in my back pouch here in a minute. Same thing with my gloves. These gloves are thicker than I'd like, but my hands get cold really easily, and these are the only gloves I've found that actually keep my hands warm. They're smart wool and they're fingerless, but they also have that mitten flap, so you can close it off if you need to, which is nice. What else do I have as far as gear go? Got my hiking poles. I don't know if you can see, but I'll definitely use those on the hike out. Look at how beautiful this is. Wow. Oh, you can see the river straight ahead. That is so cool. I think that deserves a picture real quick. So yeah, if you're gonna do this hike, you know, or any other non-corridor trail, like I said, be prepared to self-rescue, be self-sufficient. And even if you're fit, I'd recommend having some canyon experience on the corridor trails before tackling this. Just so you know what you're getting into, because it's hard to do this in one day. You know, I just watched a YouTube video last night actually of a guy, and just a buff dude, like way more than I am. And he was trying to do rim to rim. I'm just taking a picture real quick and then I'll keep going. Oh, my phone's fuzzy. But anyway, he was trying to do rim to rim. So his girlfriend dropped him off at the south rim, and she was going to meet him up at the north rim. And like I said, a really fit guy, like muscular, jacked, but not a lot of hiking experience. And he really struggled to make that climb up the north rim. And he actually needed help from a couple of hikers that he met along the way, plus his girlfriend, who was waiting for him at the north rim. And he was a few hours past what his expected time would be. So she actually hiked down North Kaibab and met him about 2 or 3 miles down the trail. And he was like, I mean, he was dehydrated, didn't have electrolytes, was cramping. So point being, is being fit and being endurance fit are kind of two different beasts. So if you're gonna do an adventure like this in the canyon, you know, make sure you know what you're doing. You have some canyon experience. You know, for me, like, I'm an ultra runner, so I've done some pretty big distances. And just don't take it lightly, because the canyon is a very unforgiving place. Beautiful place, very rewarding place, but can also be deadly. So just wanted to talk about that a little bit. and we're gonna keep descending down this trail until we get to the river. You can really see the river winding around down there. If you're quiet, you can hear the rapids. I believe the Tanner Rapids is what they're called. So our trail, it's a little smoother at the moment. So I'm kind of just lightly jogging. I wouldn't even call this running. Definitely going slower than what I thought I would be. I'm at an hour and 45 minutes and I just passed 5 miles. Oh, there's a hiker up ahead. I'll talk to him for a little bit. So that was the second person I've seen on this trail. Like I said, that first lady I saw, you know, within the first half mile, she was coming down. That guy was coming up Tanner Trail. He had done the Escalante route. So he started at Lipen Point, which is where we started today. But then he walked down the road 6 miles to take New Hants Trail, and then took that down, hopped on Tonto east until it connects with Tanner at the bottom, going back up. So that's known as the Escalante route here at the canyon. He said he was backpacking down there for, I think he said 3 nights. So be a good trip. But as for me, we were just doing a day trip. So he asked me how far I was going. I said, at least to the river, maybe to the Confluence. And he was telling me just that the Beamer Trail to get to the Confluence is rough. It's similar terrain to this. And like I said before, I'm going slower than what I anticipated. So I might just flip it at the river. We'll see. I mean, if I can run, hike, Beamer, and even just do like, you know, 13-minute miles, I think that'll be good. Because it's a little under 10 miles to get to the Confluence once you reach the river. So let's call it 20 round trip. So I'm trying to do the math. Definitely gonna be hiking out in the dark if I do that, which is fine. I've done that many times before here at the canyon, so no issues there. But we'll see. As for now, enjoying this pretty smooth section, trying to make up some time. I got some great views of the river over to my left, actually straight ahead of me now. So it looks like that's where we're going. Yeah, really enjoying this so far. Definitely feels way more rugged than anything on Kaibab or Bright Angel trails. And it's really great to only run into 1 or 2 people along the way. You just feel like you have this amazing canyon all to yourself. It's pretty special. All right, we're 6 1/4 miles in. You can see the river getting closer. We're on this really nice, smooth dirt section. So I've been running here for a little bit. So it's been nice making up a little bit of time. Like on this trail, a lot of the downhills just are really technical, so it's hard to move fast at all. But this right here, it's pretty nice. And I'm starting to get pretty excited about being at the river. So hopefully soon. We made it to the Colorado River. So these are the Tanner Canyon Rapids. Absolutely beautiful. Beamer's going that way. So I think I'm gonna do it. So it's about 10:30 right now. You can see my stats, about 7.5 miles to get down here and 2 hours and 24 minutes. So just for context, whenever I do the corridor trails, it usually takes me a little over 1 hour to get to the river. I think my record for Bright Angel is 1 hour and 5 minutes, and I think South Kaibab's 1 hour and 2 minutes. Something like that. But either way, a little over 1 hour compared to 2.5 hours on Tanner. I probably could have gone a little faster, but a lot of the terrain is really technical and there's a lot of loose rock and dirt. And you just don't want to take a chance, so, you know, slip and fall, roll an ankle, because you're definitely all alone out here. And you can actually see the watchtower straight ahead at the top. That's a little depressing. Climb out's gonna be brutal, but it's great to be at the river. Great that no one's here. I'm gonna take my jacket off and my gloves, actually put them in my pack, and I'm gonna drink from the river a little bit. This is absolutely beautiful. Just so I don't have to drink the water that I have, I'll use my filter and just drink straight from the river. But here we are, Tanner Rapids. So I'm just down here exploring here at Tanner Camp, I guess, before I hop on Beamer. And there's a sign for a toilet down here. I didn't think there was one, or I wasn't sure if there was, but I followed this little trail. And here we have a little, I don't even know what to call this, a little toilet. There's the seat. It's got this little locking mechanism. That's pretty cool. The things you find at the bottom of Grand Canyon. So we're on the Beamer Trail. You can already see our views are just absolutely stunning. So we're basically just gonna follow the Colorado River for about 9 or 10 miles. Check out that cactus growing down here, that's awesome. Until we hit the Confluence. It's kind of, I've used my phone to find the trail. I had to open up my my Gaia app. You kind of got to backtrack a little bit. It's not exactly where Tanner Beach is. You got to go up the trail, and then there's these cairns that mark the divide in the trail, and then you just go to the left, or the right if you're heading down. You head east on the trail. I think my battery's dying. These batteries are junk. So I have a couple spares. I've already used one. So I might record sparingly until we get to the Confluence. Cool, we're going the right way. A little hard to follow, but they do have cairns. So we've been on Beamer for about 2.5 miles. But we're down here by the river again. I don't know what's going on with these batteries. They keep dying when they shouldn't. But anyway, we're just going through the scree field here along the river. We're approaching, I believe it's called Lava Camp. So there's some more rapids here, very pretty. But I was trying to say before, this trail, it's not too bad. I've read different things online about it being hard to follow or it being really sketchy, and if you're afraid of heights, don't do it. So far, it's fine. There's a couple spots where it does get a little tricky to follow, but it's marked with cairns, so you're never really lost. And I mean, you pretty much just follow the river anyway. But it's been absolutely gorgeous so far. some runnable stuff, but I'm still hiking a lot. So pace overall is definitely slower than I anticipated, but I am still determined to see the Confluence, so we're gonna keep making progress. But yeah, it's also been great just not having anybody else down here. It's like you are totally isolated if you do this route, which is great. But yeah, the climb out's gonna be rough. And it's actually kind of chilly down here. It's really breezy today. So if I had to guess the temperature, it's probably maybe mid 60s, maybe 65. But we've been getting some pretty big gusts, especially, you know, bouncing off the river and stuff. So anyway, I'm not sure exactly how much further it is to the Confluence. I think it's gonna be about around 7 more miles. So we're gonna keep making progress. Okay, looks like we're a little bit, we're about halfway down the Beamer Trail. We're kind of climbing up this rock field right now, so we're leaving the banks of the Colorado a little bit. But I just wanted to show this view. It's incredible. So you can see the Lava Canyon Rapids straight ahead. There we got Peshkali Point, and then I doubt you can see it, but you can still see the watchtower all the way back there. It's so far away. But you can see a couple of beaches along the river there. Be a great spot to camp if you were thinking a multi-day trip out of this, but we are not doing it in one shot. But the views sure are incredible. Seems like I'm not on a trail at the moment. I think it's going this way, but I'm gonna check the map on my phone. All right, 12.5 miles in. So I think I have about 4 miles to go to get to the Confluence. We are running along a cliff edge here. It's probably a 500-foot drop off to the river. So maybe this is why people say if you're afraid of heights, don't do it. To me, this is totally fine. But I mean, you can see how tall the walls are here. It's pretty epic terrain. Honestly, it's amazing being out here. Still doing a lot of hiking, running when we can. A lot of the terrain isn't super runnable, at least for me, but this can move somewhat efficiently on. Awesome. Okay, we're about 15.4 miles in. Almost slipped. Still on Beamer. I've got to say, this trail is starting to drag quite a bit. It's just hard. If you do this trail, do not underestimate it. It starts out pretty nice and smooth, but then that climb that I think I did a video for, like up that rocky section, pretty much ever since then, it's just been a grind. We keep going in and out of these little washes and tributaries, and it just winds around, and I should be relatively close, but it feels like it's just never gonna get there. But I mean, you can look back and you can kind of see, I mean, we basically followed that canyon wall on the left as it winds, and I'll get some more video on the way back. You can also still see the Desert View Watchtower just getting smaller and smaller. So this definitely has taken a lot longer than I thought it would. I thought I'd just be cruising on these miles, but not so much. It's pretty technical terrain. So been moving for 5 hours and 16 minutes. I'm hoping I'll be at Cape Solitude by 6 hours. My initial estimate on me doing this route was 10 hours. It's gonna be way off. It's gonna be at least probably 14. So it's gonna be a long day. I'm not really fighting for a low point. I mean, I feel good. I guess I'm just eagerly anticipating getting to the Confluence and getting to the payoff of this hike, because like I said, this trail, it's beautiful. It's been great, don't get me wrong, but it's, like I said, just starting to drag on, and ready to get there. All right, first sight of it. Just show you the view real quick. Coming down here along the Beamer Trail, Colorado River. I don't know if you can see where I'm pointing. That looks to me like the aqua blue color of the Little Colorado. I see a couple of rafts out there, some people on them. First sign of life I've seen since that hiker I ran into halfway down Tanner Trail. I am very much ready to get there. I need to get some calories in me. I think this is it. Very cool. Yeah, there's quite a few rafters. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. I think I count 7. Sweet. Well, looks like, see, it's been like winding around like this, and every time we go through one of these, the trail like down climbs and then climbs up out of it, and it's really technical. It's kind of taxing. So I'm sure you can tell I'm ready to take a little break at the Confluence, but it's within reach, so just a little further and we'll be there. So made it to the Confluence. So here, this is the Little Colorado joining the regular Colorado as it continues that way. I think this trail just keeps going. This will eventually run into Hopi Salt Trail, which ironically would be less miles if I just took that to get out of the canyon rather than retracing my steps. But you need a permit for that trail, which I don't have, so I'm gonna have to go back. But I think that's where I want to get to. So I think I'm gonna down climb here and make my way across that little island, which hopefully will be okay. I thought there'd be a trail to get down there, but it doesn't look like it. I just looked at the topo map and it looks like this trail just kind of stays up a little bit. But right here, we got a good spot where we can climb down. So we're gonna make our way down there. Crossing the Little Colorado to get to the Confluence. You can really see how blue the water is from down here. It's pretty amazing. Hopefully we can make our way across. This is where we came down. Looks a little sketch, but it wasn't too bad. So yeah, I'm gonna put the camera away because this might get a little interesting. All right, did some bushwhacking, get across that island, and I think this is the best spot we're gonna get of the Confluence. Pretty amazing. So let's see if we can get a little closer. The Little Colorado flowing into the Colorado. And this is a sacred spot for the Hopi tribe. From what I understand, they believe that this is where life originated, was from the Confluence here. It's very pretty. So I think this is gonna be a good spot for me to take a break and eat. We've got 17.38 miles and just a little over 6 hours to get here. I thought it'd be a lot faster. That's some gnarly terrain coming down Beamer Trail. I'm kind of dreading the trek back. I'm dreading the next 6 miles almost as much as I'm dreading the climb up Tanner. So that was rough, but I'll get some food in me, recover a little bit, and enjoy my time here. Up here, that spot right there, that's Cape Solitude. So I went to that spot on my birthday a few years ago. I have a video documenting that as well. I think from up there, you kind of see the contrast of the rivers a little bit more than you do down here, actually. Like you can see it, you know, obviously that's the light blue of the Little Colorado and the green of the Colorado, but from up there, you have a higher vantage point, and so it's kind of, it pops out at you more. I didn't really see the blueness of the Little Colorado until I was actually down here. But anyway, I'll have some more thoughts about this trail as we go on here. I think it was really hard to get here. That Beamer Trail kind of kicks my butt. So I don't know, I need to recover. Because right now I'm kind of not sure if it was worth it to get to the spot. I'm sure I'll feel differently once I get some food in me. So I'm gonna do that. I'm trying to remember which way I came down here. Basically, you just gotta climb up these rocks. So we're looking for a good spot to do that. It is beautiful down here though. I was kind of cranky earlier. I definitely needed some food. So I don't know why I said that it's not worth it to make it here. It's a hard journey. So if you're gonna do it, I think if I were to do it again, I would make a backpacking trip out of it. I'd do it over a couple of nights. You know, go down to Tanner in one night, come over here, camp, maybe have a free day to explore the Little Colorado, you know, and then head back over the course of a night or two. It's rough doing this in one go, and I still have to make my way back. But it's a beautiful spot. I mean, you got the light blue Little Colorado mixed with the green of the regular Colorado. It's pretty amazing. I do think that when you go up to Cape Solitude, you kind of get more of a wow factor, because up there, the view, like you can't see it until you're there. So it kind of jumps out at you, and all of a sudden you're just like, whoa, just like overwhelmed with all the color contrast. Here it's a little bit different. It doesn't jump out at you quite like that, at least for me, that's how I felt. But to actually be down here and to be at the confluence and to, you know, stick my hand in the water, it's pretty cool. And now we just got to go back. And we're back on Beamer, back on the trail, saying bye to the confluence. I hope to be here again someday. I think it'd be a pretty epic route to combine this with the Hopi Salt Trail. I think if I were to do this again, I'd either backpack it, do it over a few nights, or have a permit and exit via the Hopi Salt Trail, you know, or come down Hopi Salt and go this way. Because from what I understand, it's about 5 miles on the Little Colorado to get to where the Hopi Salt Trail is. And from there, I'm actually not positive, but maybe it's 8 miles to get to the rim. But either way, it's like 5 miles shorter to go out that way than it is to backtrack and go back up Tanner. I'm gonna be at about 36 miles today, which is a lot. It's the most I've done in a couple months. But It is beautiful. I also couldn't imagine doing this in the summer. You know, or when it's hot out. Temperatures are pretty nice right now. Like I said earlier, it's about 60. A little cool in the shade, but in the summertime, this would be all exposed and it'd be so hot and no water along the way. So that's kind of why I wanted to do it now, just because of the time of the year. It kind of worked out with my schedule. Because I'm not really, like, I'm probably not even going to refill my bladder on the way back. Maybe I'll top it off with filtered water, but I haven't been going through a ton of water just because it hasn't been hot. So anyway, I'm getting rambly. I want to put the camera away and keep heading back. So 20.5 miles in, we've been on the Beamer Trail for about 3 miles now. So hopefully we're halfway done with this really hard part. And then I'll get back to that smooth kind of dirt, sand, single track by the river that it started out as. But you can kind of see here, just the cliffs. So they're kind of like curving in and out. That's kind of what we're following. And every time we go around one of those curves, the trail goes like down and then back up. So there's a lot of little climbs here that are pretty technical, which makes it hard. I'm hurting, to be honest. I'm kind of over it. Kind of wishing I would have turned around after getting to the river at the bottom of Tanner, but nothing we can do about it now. Got to get back. And I mean, at least the views are pretty, right? It could definitely be worse. But yeah, I'm probably just going to be hiking the whole rest of the way. Even on stuff like this is pretty much runnable, but not for me today. So you can still see the Desert View watchtower. Just looks like a tiny blip in the radar. It's depressing. We got a long way to go still. Probably another 15 miles till we're done. But what can you do? Just keep on going. All right, we're finally back on some decent terrain. Finally off those 6 miles of torture. Sun's going down. Probably got another half hour or so of daylight left. So still got about maybe 3 miles before we start climbing up Tanner Trail. I'm sure it'll be dark by then. So probably won't film too much. But I'll definitely check in once I'm at the top. And just talked to, there are a couple guys camping about a half mile back. Just talking to them. They're also going to the Confluence tomorrow, but they got a permit for a few nights, so they're camping at that spot, going to the Confluence, then going back to camp, and then hiking out the day after that. So that's the way to do it. Doing this all in one day, it's a lot. It's a lot, and I'm in pretty good shape. I mean, I'm not the best shape I've ever been in, but I'm in decent shape. And yeah, I've been hurting for a while. So, but we're getting there. We're almost to 24 miles. Been moving for a little over 9 hours. I don't know if I mentioned earlier, my estimate when I thought I was going to be done, I thought this would take me about 10 hours. It's probably going to be closer to like 14, which is fine. It's still, I guess it's a pretty decent accomplishment to do this in one shot, in one day, even if it is slower than what I anticipated. I mean, this terrain is just rough. So, but yeah, still doing good. I'm gonna filter water up here in a little bit. There's a spot where the trail just runs right alongside the river, so pretty easy access. So I'm definitely gonna refill some bladders, get some more tailwind in me, and then keep going. Powering through the night. Night hikes out of the canyon can be can be fun. And the sky is pretty clear, so hopefully we should be able to see some stars tonight on the way out. So that'll be good. Anyway, we're still out here, still moving forward, getting it done. Right, probably can't see anything, but just made the turn off and we are back on the Tanner Trail. Thank the Lord. I enjoyed very little of Beamer, and coming back the last 3 miles were kind of in the dark. That was hard to follow because you can't really see the cairns as well. You know, even with a good light like I have, made it hard. If I didn't have my GPS on my phone, I'd have been screwed. But that feels like a victory to be off that trail. And I have a really gnarly 5,000 foot climb ahead of me, but honestly, I'm pretty stoked about it because it means almost done. I'm at about 27 miles and I've been moving for 10.5 hours. I'm thinking this climb will take me probably at least 3.5 hours, maybe 4. So we're getting there. Can't wait to be done. I made it. We're back at the trailhead. That was the hardest climb I've ever had to do. That was harder than any rim to rim to rim I've done. Harder than anything at Cocodona or Tushers. I should have taken more food. I've been out of food for the last, I don't even know. I felt like my body was shutting down. What a huge day that was. I'm so happy it's over. I don't think I'll ever do that one again.